in the meantime, while that's occurring, you do have a handout that was compiled by Ms. Glenda Meacham-Kane, and she formerly used to work for the Department of Health and Senior Services as an aging program specialist. So she has knowledge about all the resources available around the state because she has 30+ years, and now she happens to be a part of the Paula J. Carter Center. And at this time, if you have your handout that indicates the available resources around the state, she will quickly go through, and if you have any questions, she will provide you some answers. At this time, without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce my colleague, great friend, one of those people that will help you out at the last moment, is Ms. Glenda Meacham-Kane.
I wasn't prepared for this. So you do have in your folders, I did put together the free cell phone resource list, and hopefully all of the sites have that as well. But on the free cell phone list, when you go to the sites and look for those free cell phone that are available to individuals, make sure you go through all of the plans. And I went through, there's several more besides the ones I have on the list. But if you go through each of the plans, make sure you look at the different plans, and there's different minutes for each of the plans, and there's different refill options. So you have to, and there's different geographical and zip code areas for each of these cell phone resources. So you have to look through all of the information before you decide which of the cell phone resources you want to actually use. So you do get the cell phone and you do get the minutes, but you just have to read thoroughly through it to make sure what you're going to get with the information for each of these options. So this will help you learn how to use the computer more if you're going to go through go to the computer and go through each of these plans more thoroughly. That'll help you learn how to use computer. But I did put down the ones that are for Missouri, and you'll have to just figure out which of these are in your area, or in your zip code area. SafeLink is one of the most popular ones that are used by seniors, but there might be other ones that are in your area that you can use. And then on the back, on the second or the third page, it shows the eligibility guidelines for the Lifeline Assistance Program. And if you're eligible for some of these benefits, you'd probably be eligible for the program. And it shows what the income-based eligibility is for Missouri as well. So you could, go through this information and see if you're eligible for the program. And the other resource list that I put together was cyber internet safety resources, and that's something that the speakers are going to talk about today, how to be safe on the internet. And I went through and found a lot of information for safety for seniors on the internet. So yeah, since we only had an hour today, this will give you time or something to look for later. After you have time, you can go to this information and look for more information on being safe on the internet. So I just kind of separated. I said cyber safety and then internet safety, but it's the same thing. And then there's information on safety on the websites, more information. So I just put this together so you'll have enough information for looking on the internet, just to give you more resources to have.
Thank you.
Are there any questions for Ms. Glenda?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you make appointments for individual discussion? I mean, if you have questions, but it's not helpful to the class maybe, or can appointments be made to speak with one of you?
Oh, yes, just call us anytime and we'll be happy to help you.
Thank you.
And the number is on something, isn't it?
It's on every.
Yeah, that's right, it is, yeah. Yeah, just give us a call anytime.
Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you.
since there are still some technological difficulties going on. However, we still have one of the presenters right here in our classroom today. Yes. And I have to tell you a little bit about Andrew, because when I first came on board 14 years ago, you know how you're the new kid on the block and you're not sure, you're like, oh my goodness, how is this? I came on as the research assistant many years ago. And he was one of the first individuals that assisted me in learning about, at that time, it was called the Missouri Center on Minority Health and Aging. It was changed in 2003 to the Paula Center. And so for many years, he has been a loyal and great colleague to work with. And plus, he is very knowledgeable about tech issues too. So without further ado, it is my pleasure to welcome and thank you again, Mr. Andrew Irv. You're welcome.
So I hadn't really planned on being the presenter today, but I think we all have copies of the PowerPoint. So while we're waiting for them to get going, they might actually have it. You got it. But as you can see, even people that have tech skills sometimes have difficulties. We're basically running multiple systems at the same time, and they have a limited bandwidth at their office there.
Yay.
We're trying to improve, but we're gonna have to put a bid out and get ones.
Okay, do you have it?
Yeah, perfect.
All right. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Again, as Andrew and Ms. Deborah said, still apologize for the delay. We did have technical difficulties on this end, so now we are ready to rock and roll.
All right.
All right? Okay, again, good morning. My name is Marla Moore-Collins, and I will be one of your presenters today from the St. Louis office. Then we also have Mr. Lance Weaver, going to be coming up next, and Charnel Connor. And again, to everyone, welcome to Lincoln University Cooperative Extension. Can you hear me?
The lights in office can't hear very well.
Andrew, can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. All right, today's presentation is going to be about hyperlinking seniors, bridging the gap between seniors using technology and society. First thing we're going to talk about is hyperlinking seniors through the digital divide. What is hyperlinking? It's a word or phrase or an image that you can click on to jump to a new document, section, or picture. So basically, anytime you're using technology, using a computer or any type of technological device, once you click on one thing, you can actually click on something else, and that's what you consider hyperlinking.
Marla,
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. There's a huge echo with you talking. I wonder if we could kind of clear that up, because then it makes what you're saying a little bit muffled. And it's even, maybe, I'm even echoing when I'm talking on here. Do you hear an echo?
No.
Yes.
A little,
Not,
okay.
Not on our end.
Well,
All you can do is turn your volume down on your TV or your
Okay.
or your video conference remote. Turn it down
Okay.
a little, and it should help. And also keep the microphone away from the TV.
okay, Would it have anything to do with anybody being on the computers on the other part of the building?
No,
Okay, well, thanks so much. Let me try that. Thanks. Go ahead.
mute your mic too, Tina.
Okay, I'll mute it.
Okay, Marla.
Okay. The next thing we're gonna talk about is what is the digital divide? And the digital divide is basically the expectation that everyone has equal access to and the ability to use and apply technology in society, personally, professionally, and academically. And one of the reasons we're having this webinar is to minimize that digital divide. And the next thing is, what type of an impact does the digital divide have on the lives of senior citizens? And one of the reasons why we do the class here at Extension is because we have a concern about the senior citizens actually being left out or not considered in terms of developing technological devices and skills in society. So for example, there are expectations that there are certain life skills that people need to have to live. For example, you need to know how to cook, clean, preferably sew, but everybody doesn't think that that's necessarily not a life skill. But now, technology is becoming a life skill. So again, that's another reason why we're having this webinar. Right, how can technology and computer literacy improve the lives of senior citizens? Number one, for you all being here. So thank you all for attending, and we hope to see you all at additional webinars in the future. Wait a minute. Okay, what knowledge, skills, and resources do senior citizens need to bridge the gap between them and society before the digital divide? So one of the things I think is really important is that seniors learn the basics of how to turn on a computer, turn off a computer, and how to operate just the hardware. So that includes the mouse, the keyboard, your monitor, and your CPU, the central processing unit, but also known as the tower or the brain of the. And again, I wanted to say that for those of you that are not familiar with some of these terms, and that this webinar is not enough information for you, and I would suggest you enroll in one of these classes at the Extension Center. And if you are not at this time being offered classes at your center, please contact the St. Louis office and we'll see how we can assist you. All right, again, we're talking about technology and life skills. And three areas that we're really going to cover today. And one is staying safe online. The other is getting pictures off of your digital camera, computers, and also how of your cell phone. All right, does anyone have any questions right now?
Any questions? No.
Marla, I think you muted your video conference mic. We can't hear you.
I did.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, now we have Mr. Lance Weaver.
Andrew?
Yes, Tina?
We're still getting that muffling, background. It's not ours. I don't think it's ours.
Okay, no, it's the way it is. Thanks.
Okay.
Good morning. My name is Lance Weaver, and I'm going to talk a little bit about cybersecurity for senior citizens. Now, cybersecurity is for everybody. I put a little emphasis on citizens. You might have, most of our things know about fish. Everybody know how to fish. Okay. Well, if you need understand the concept.
Yeah.
Okay, but the kind of fishing I want to talk about this morning, spelled PHISC. And that's when you have someone that sends you a message over the internet and asks personal information. It's the same type of concept, except they're not after fish. Okay? And what they do is they send you something that looks like something that you would be interested in, and they ask you a lot of different personal information, and then they use it to either obtain your identity or find a backdoor into your computer and cause havoc and confusion in your life. So I just wanted to bring that up only because it's left out of my presentation and I did mean to bring it in there. Okay, now, I'm kind of, October was cybersecurity month. And the reason why I guess it was cybersecurity month is because of Halloween. You got a lot of people that are out there misrepresenting themselves, pretending to be something that they're not. They do a lot of that on the internet. Okay, they have all kinds of disguises and ways to get your personal information. This being cybersecurity month, it's an easy way to remind people, whether they are senior citizens, business owners, partners, and teams, to take precautions to ensure their personal information remains private. Data breaches at banks, healthcare providers, and major retailers in recent months should serve as a wake-up for consumers about how easy it is to have their information compromised. You heard about Snooks, Uniberg, Target, and all of these different places where you go and you use your credit card. Then you have to get a new credit card or a new debit card. And some of us have had 2 or 3 different debit cards because we visited one of these places and their information has been compromised. Okay? Everybody needs to take steps to ensure private information remains private. Identities are protected and our personal electronic devices do not get hacked. Now, we're not only talking about our personal computers, we're talking about the applications that we use on our cell phones and things of this nature. I heard on the news last night that those people who have elected through their cell phones go out and get an app called Flashlight. And then they put it on their cell phones so that they can have a flashlight. And then that particular application has embedded code in it that tries to locate your social security number, your bank account, and all kinds of information. I just want to make you aware of it. If you have that particular app on your phone, you might want to consider removing it because it does some things in the background that you don't see. Okay? We have some questions after the session. I'm sorry. I'll address that. One second. Okay. There are some suggestions here. Change your password every 3 months and make sure you don't use the same password for different websites and devices. Everybody understands what a password is and how not to make, what they're saying is don't make that the same password for everything. Have a different password for whatever it is you're doing. Now, I just thought about this morning. I was thinking that if you're going to go on the internet, and you're going to use internet banking, I would suggest that you get you a different bank account. Like you can have more than one checking account, just like you can have more than one saving account. have you a checking account specifically that you're gonna use, for purchasing things off of the internet, giving people information over the telephone, and keep your real money safe and away from that. That would be something that I think that would be very helpful. Okay, cybersecurity experts advise against using common words or numbers combinations. If you have trouble remembering different passwords, think of an easy way to remember a sentence. And create a password by using the first letter of each word. Example, shopping at Target, and then the address. So use SAT, and then maybe Target's address. That would be the password that you would use. And what if you remember? By all means, if you run across something that was suspicious, report it. Okay? Because, I mean, until your friends get on the internet, find some consumer advocate group and report it, alert your friends that something peculiar is happening or has happened to you over the internet. It says protect all devices and connect to the internet. Protect all devices that connect to the internet. A lot of times people, and I've been guilty of this myself, instead of turning my PC off, I always leave it on. Because it takes a lot more energy to boot your system up. So a lot of times, I used to just leave it on. Well, what that does, as long as you got your system open and you're not watching it, it gives people an opportunity to come into the back door and access your information. So, they're saying that you should put all your devices on a power supply line and then just take and cut off the power supply line so that your modem, your PC, and everything is just shut down. Okay. Be cautious online when shopping, paying bills, or doing other activities that require personal or financial information. Make sure the website is secure, enabled, with HTTPS or HTTP. These are considered secure websites that they're trusted. And a lot of times when we go out there on the internet and we get ready to purchase things, try to find somebody that's been out there before and purchased something and they had no problem. And be very cautious about the website that you visit. You can have a www.aol.com type of internet connection, but it would be nothing for someone to put something in front of that or behind that AOL.com to make you think that you're really looking at AOL.com when you're on a totally different site. But just because you see those words or those letters, it makes you believe that you're in some place that you're really not. So always take note of the website that you're accessing by making sure that if it is AOL.com, that there's nothing before it except www, and if there's something behind it, it should be a backslash. If it's a forward slash or some other name, you're probably not dealing with the proper website. Okay. I got to figure out where we at. Okay. It says report suspicious activities or online fraud to the Federal Trade Commission. And it has a HTTP wvgeno.us.list. You can do that, or you can just go to the Trade Commission. If you don't want to remember all these call letters, you can just, it's kind of common stuff to go through and look at all of these different letters, like, you can probably just put in Trade Commission, search engine, and go straight to the Trade Commission. And another good one is the FBI. You can probably go to FBI.gov, and it will give you hints on the latest and greatest schemes that are going on in the area right now. I could quote some here, but at the same time, they're new and developing each and every day. Okay, the scammers may pretend to be anyone online. So approach any person you meet with the proper amount of caution, that you would anybody that you would meet on the street. Don't trust every website, but don't be afraid to get out there and get on the internet. That's the thing, because that puts you at a disadvantage. You don't want to be the only one that's stuck in the back ages, but at the same time, you don't want to be taken. So as long as you don't download anything, as long as you don't order anything, if you can just look at the website, get information, use common sense approach as to whether or not you get the information could be true or it could be false. If it feels good, it's probably good. If it feels bad, it's probably bad. Okay, so just take that caution, just like you would coming out of your house or walking across the street where you're going to look both ways. Just make sure that you're cautious of the types of things that are out there so that you don't be taken. Okay, cybersecurity isn't limited to individual businesses, cybersecurity isn't limited to individuals, business owners, but a business owner must also take steps to ensure the company's identities are protected online. That's to say that, yes, they call themselves protecting themselves, but then they find out that people come in their back door, steal their information, and most of the time, the people that take the lawsuit, the businesses are usually insured. So, to close, when you're using technology, be careful, be safe, and be aware. Okay, right now I'm gonna turn this over to Miss. Oh, okay, we do have questions? I'm sorry, we sure do. Yes, ma'am, now can I ask you a question? Well, what's happening?
Can you repeat the question for the rest of us?
The question was, which app on the flashlight app is the one that is problematic? And my answer to that question is, they did not suggest a particular flashlight app. They did all of them, because most of them are free. If you got an iPhone and you go to the iTunes store, they're usually free. And you download them, but this is another example. You download information into your cell phone or into your laptop. You have to make sure that it's coming from a security source. And people that offer you things that are free, a lot of times there's a hidden reason behind it. Okay, so I can answer your question. I couldn't tell you which one. I would say buy a flashlight and don't use none of them. Yes, ma'am.
I was just going to ask here that the antiviral protection, there are some scams out there where they action on screen, and you click on it and add it to your system.
The question is about antivirus software. And I can tell you this from my own personal experience. When I first bought my PC, I had an antivirus software on it. Okay? I used it for a year without any problem. At the end of the year, I kept getting a message, do you want to renew it? And I ignored it, or I said no. Said, do you want to renew it? I ignored it, or I said no. Well, eventually I got a virus. Now, I'm not sure whether or not I got the virus because I didn't answer the question correctly, or if I didn't renew it, or if I really got a virus. Antivirus software is good, or if you download something to put on your hard drive for permanent use.
Mr. Lance, excuse me, Mr. Lance, this is Deborah.
Which is good and which is bad. My suggestion is, until you get savvy enough, don't download anything. And then you don't have to worry about whether or not you got a virus. Because 9 times out of 10, if you don't download it, you may not get that virus. Anybody else?
Ms. Deborah has a question here.
Yes, I have a question. There's someone here from Jefferson City has a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I know this is mostly about our cell phones, but in buying my makeup, I went to the lady's house and she had, I don't forget what you call it, but you could, you know, no, not an iPad, not an iPad or tablet, but the other little thing where you could use your credit card and pay for it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so am I going through the same thing? Well, okay, what kind of caution should I have taken to do this? Not that I had anything, any problems or anything, but a lot of people is turning to that now, using you know, when you go to their house and stuff, you can pay for it by credit card. Swipe them, swipe.
Well, actually, that app is really a pretty good app. But what happens is you just have to trust the vendor that you're handing your card to. And make sure that once you have a transaction like that, that you check your account and make sure that they took out the right amount. They don't really get the credit card information. It's someone on the back end that gets that information, and usually 9 times out of 10 they're pretty secure. Okay, so you don't have to worry about compromising your information, but what you do have to worry about is making sure that they charge you the proper amount.
Okay, thank you.
Did that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
I have
Thank you.
a comment on that also. This is Andrew in Jeff City. One of the things that I recently heard, and it's really good advice, is do not use your debit card for online purchases. I would even go so far as to say, don't use it at a gas station, don't use it at a grocery store, don't use it anywhere. Use a credit card or a prepaid card to make those kind of purchases. Because your bank card, your debit card, even though it has the Visa logo on it, is not protected. And if it gets compromised and somebody charges on your bank account, the bank is not responsible for that, you are. So on a credit card, the actual credit card company is liable, but on a debit card, you personally are liable. Now you can ask your bank if they'll cover the charges, but if it's a significant amount, they might tell you no. So,
Yeah, I think that's an excellent idea, Andrew.
yeah, I just recently heard that from a security expert, a guy who's been working in the field for like 20 years. Really good advice. So if you don't have a credit card, you could probably get a prepaid card, and that would, then at least the amount on the card is all they can get.
Well, what
Yes.
about what do you use your debit card for?
Don't,
Everything.
right,
Well, I
the
do,
only
but-
thing that I would say that where it would be probably safe to use it would be at your bank, at your bank's ATM.
I agree.
It's almost like going backwards to think like that, you know, to think, oh, I have a debit card, but just because the Visa logo's on it, it doesn't mean anything really. They just, you know, Visa just handles the transaction, they don't hold the liability for it.
Do we have any more questions out there?
Okay, excuse me, I'm gonna make a suggestion. We're gonna ask people to go ahead and write their questions down right now. We'll hold them until the end. We have 2 other areas covered. We apologize. Just write your questions down and we'll come back to them.
Yeah, if you need a pen, just raise your hand if you have pens.
Should be in your folder if you don't have anything.
I have-
Right, thanks.
Yeah.
Diane?
We're gonna hold the questions till later, because we gotta move along. Thank you. Go ahead, Marla.
Okay. Now we're gonna talk about cell phones directly. And I just wanted to give you 2 examples of the most popular styles of phones that are on the market right now. And one is called an Android phone, and the other one is an iPhone. Now, just because we're showing you these examples, it does not mean that you need to have these type of phones. However, they are 2 of the most popular, and I would say among 2 of the most productive cell phone products in the market. So to the left is an Android phone, or possibly what an Android phone could possibly look like. And in the center of the phone, you will see what's called a stylus. Okay, and then to the right of the screen, you'll see a picture of an iPhone. Okay, and I want to say that's looks like it's an iPhone 5 or 5S. But anyway, but these are 2 of the most popular styles of cell phones again that is on the market. All right, next we're going to talk about a couple of apps that are available on these types of cell phones. And these cell phones have a swipe feature. And on the Android style phone, you have the app that's called the Play Store. And that is the top app, and that's what it looks like. And at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the App Store for iPhones. That's what the app looks like. So I'm going to talk about an app. This is parallel to what you would call this a software program or an icon on your desktop computer or on your laptop. But they're also known as, they can be known as icons in the cell phone as well, but they're referred to as apps, because that's the cell phone language. Okay? So if you wanted to make a purchase of an app, as you all were talking about with the flashlight app, if you have the Android cell phone, then you actually go to the Play Store, and you can actually tap on that app, and you can do a search for the flashlight apps that are available. And if you have an iPhone and you want to make the flashlight purchase, you actually go to the Apple Store, and actually click on that app, and you do a search for whatever app that you're looking for. And most of them, not most of them, but some of them are free, and but some of them you have to pay for. So I would say that you get what you pay for. You know, if you're looking for something that's just okay, most of those apps will be free. But if you want something that's more profound and has the best performance and has the best quality, then most of the time you would have to pay for those type of apps. All right, another app I wanted to talk about is Google Maps. And Google Maps is a very, very, very important and one of the most user-friendly apps on cell phones. But not only can Google Maps be used on cell phones, but also can access using your desktop computers and also laptop computers. Now, Google Maps is used for you to create a plan for your travel, or also to give you just directions on how to get to a location and get me from a destination. So, for example, if I wanted to, I'll use this example. This past Monday, I had to do a school visit on the south side of St. Louis. I had to go to a school that's called St. Margaret. And let's just say the address was 4950 Shop, that's on the south side. And so what happens is, once I type in the address, then Google actually will give me 3 options. It'll give me a printout option, it will say start navigation, where someone will actually speak to me and give me verbal directions in terms of how to get to my destination. And also you can actually send it as a text to someone in an email. So this is good to use if you're creating an e-bike for someone. It's good for you personally if you're just traveling around town. And it's also good for you to use if you're traveling a trip out of state. Okay? And how you get to that on any device is you have to make sure that your computer, whether it be a desktop, a laptop, or a cell phone, you have to make sure that your phone, your desktop, and your laptop has internet connection. And once you have that, then you will be able to access the internet and log on to www.googlemaps.com, access this application. And I know that some cities are still using MapQuest. And I'm going to strongly suggest that you do not anymore. Because I've been told by a lot of things, and people in general, that MapQuest is getting them lost. Sexual is the wrong route, correct. So I'm going to suggest that Google Maps, that you use Google Maps now, so let they come up with something better. But right now, this is how it's being going in terms of research. All right, the next thing we're going to talk about is web browsing and cell phone. Now, this is one of my favorite topics to talk about in terms of technology, because I think that Google Chrome, which is the first app to the left in the square of the 4 apps, one is Google Chrome, one is Safari, one is Firefox, and one is Internet Explorer. So one of my favorites to use is Google Chrome, whether it's your cell phone, a desktop, or a laptop. Google Chrome has a lot of applications available to you. But again, the most frequent one used is actually Google Maps. So, Google Maps can be downloaded to any type of cell phone, whether it be an Android or an iPhone. But I would say that the most distinguished app on here is the Safari. Safari is only available using iPhone. And iPhones only. So you can actually have an iPhone and download Internet Explorer and Firefox and Google. However, even though you have an Android phone, you will not be able to download Safari. Because that's independently owned by the proprietor Apple. And again, these can all be, well, with the exception of Safari, these can all be downloaded to your computer. Gain access to the app. Just for the record, and these are browsers are used to gain access to the app. All right, the other thing that I wanted to relate to the browsers and the internet is email. And again, what is email? It's the system for receiving and sending and storing electronic messages. So just to clarify for those of you that may not have the experience, email is basically electronic mail. So everyone has the residence of which they live. So what happens is, when people need to send you correspondence, they need your home address. Okay, and once they have your home address, there's usually a return address in which the person that has actually sent you the information through what we call snail mail nowadays. But the most up-to-date way of sending correspondence now is actually through email. And so in order for a person to do that, everyone has to have, or everyone should, make sure that they create an email account. And now at this time, I want to give us a little plug and say that if you do not have an email account, I need you to make sure that you locate me contact your local extension office and ask them to assist you with creating a Gmail account. And if they're unable to do that, you can contact the St. Louis office at 314-867-4915.
And again, the reason we want to have email is the quickest and most up-to-date way of communicating and sending and receiving correspondence. And you have to think of your email account as a way for people to contact you using digital technology. So again, it's quick and easy. It's a quick and easy way to stay in touch. It's mostly free within reason. In most cases, if you do have an email account or if you do have access to the internet at home, you are paying for that. So that's the backside of that. So I mean, you eliminate postage, but there is an internet fee that you have to pay. However, you will save money, I think, in the long run because it's more cost effective. Okay? Also, it's convenient in terms of recipient receiving messages immediately. And no need to drive to the post office, or it's the next best thing to being there. If you want to use Skype, or if you want to use Skype, Facebook, Twitter, any of the social media contacts, in order for you to operate social media, you have to have an email account. So it's really, really important if you want to become involved in those types of things. And then also, as Mr. Lance was talking about earlier, it's also good for banking, the credit card. So if you want to create a PayPal account, or if you want to have access to shopping online, you still need to have it tied or connected to some type of email account. All right, again, for creating an email account, if you want to try to do your own, you can go to a browser, and then you can go to the website by typing in www.gmail.com and then filling in your personal information. And again, I'm going to promote this again. If you need assistance with creating an email account, contact your local extension office. All right, we have any questions? I'll take just a couple.
What's the difference between out, are they like a level, or is one another?
Okay.
So it's just that I've had a hospital account for years.
Okay. All right, the question was, is there a difference between having different email accounts? And the examples that Ms. Sheila gave was the Hotmail account, a Gmail account, and what was the other account? And a Yahoo account. There is no difference. They're all the same. But the reason why I am promoting Gmail personally is because I think it's very productive, because it has a lot of additional resources within the Google Chrome system. Excuse me. So for example, if you wanted to get a document and share with someone, for example, with this PowerPoint presentation we created, I could have sent that to everyone in class. If anyone wanted to import information, type in words, then you can do that. Okay, because there's a system in there that allows you to share. However, with Yahoo and AOL and some of the other accounts have been around longer, they do not have those capabilities right now. And I think that they will probably soon transition or either actually collaborating with Google. Okay, but otherwise they're all the same. Any more questions? Okay, we have one more here in St. Louis.
What's the difference? I got
Google Chrome. Okay, the question is, what is the difference between Google and Google Chrome? And I would just say Google Chrome again gives you more access, more up to date than just regular Google. Usually Google is typically used for doing searches, however you can apply searches once you log on to Google Chrome. But again, I think the main difference is Google Chrome is more up to date with more resources. All right, and now we're gonna have Ms. Charnel Carter talk about pictures.
Good morning, my name is Charnel Connor, and I'm going to tell you how to download your pictures from your camera to your computer. Now, if you're taking some memorable pictures of your friends, birthday parties, an anniversary, or maybe your child's first birthday, the last thing you want to do is to lose them. So the easiest way to make sure that your important memories are preserved is to transfer them. And you transfer them to your computer. You transfer them a USB port is plugged from your camera and your computer, or you can via a memory card. Most cameras now, they'll have like a certain amount of memory in them, but you can buy a memory card to put into them to have more memory. And most digital cameras store pictures on what's called compact flash memory card or a secure digital card, which is called an SD card. And store them on there until you're willing to either view them or print out your pictures. You'll need to import your pictures to a computer in order. Then you can erase the pictures off of your memory card and you'll have it fresh for the next set of ways to import your pictures. Whichever method you use, will automatically recognize it. The first way, connect your camera to the computer. Once you connect your camera to the computer, use the USB cable, and you turn on your camera. Once you turn on your camera, there should be a dialog box that'll come up and say autoplay. And when this appears, all you have to do is click on it and start importing your pictures. The second way to do it is to use a memory card. And in the memory card reader, this is like considered like one of the fastest ways of doing it because most of the time you got confused for your USB plug or something like that. All you have to do is take that card out. Most of the time you just plug it into your USB. Some of them are smaller, they used to be smaller, so they had a card reader that came with the camera that you inserted the memory card into and plugged it into you. Okay? Once you remove the memory card from your camera, you slide it into your card reader, and then it plugs the card reader into your computer. When you use the memory card, you have to go by step. First, you have to take the memory card reader to the camera and plug it in. And just most of the time it's at the side of your computer. Next, a window will appear. On the window, it'll be listed all the storage devices that you have available on the computer. What you're going to normally do is look down to see where that memory card is, or it might be considered listed as a disk. And if it is, that's the one you're going to double click on to open. Once you open it, then your photographs that you've taken should already be organized in there normally according to the date. And then what you do is that you're going to go in there and select the photos that you want to import to your computer. Or you can import them all. It just basically depends on which ones you want to click on. And then once you do that, then you're going to start transferring your photos from your memory card to your computer. And then once you transfer, and they're all transferred to you on your computer, they all going to go into what is considered called the Window Live Photo Gallery Picture Viewer. And this is where you're going to put them in, where you can either edit your pictures, you can add like a frame around them, you can put them in order according to whatever you want. According to the person, you can even have them according to like brother, sister, or children or whatever. You can have them like when they was younger, and go all the way up until they're older. And this is how you normally transfer them and put them on the It's called the Windows Live Yes, because when you take and regardless of which way you use, whether you use a USB or you use the memory card, once you put it in there, most of the time, especially now, because they have, most of the computers now have Windows 7, Windows 8. Once you put it in there, it automatically goes in there and it'll start finding right what you got and it will automatically pull it up. Most of the time, if you look down at the bottom of your computer, you're gonna either see like a little folder, and that little folder is gonna be lined up. That's where it shows where whatever you plug into that computer, it's down there, or else it's gonna automatically pop up. It's not hard to transfer. It's really simple.
We'll have to buy another phone. I can take my business. What I have is the people that are backed up know how to connect into my.
You don't have to really worry about the memory card there, but you can just take and email it to you.
We couldn't hear the question.
Please repeat the question.
Asking, since he has an older phone, would he have to buy a new phone in order to connect it to his computer?
And what I was telling him, since he has that phone, one other way that he can get him onto his computer is email the picture to himself.
Now I got to learn how to email.
Hey, that's another class.
Yeah. My problem is, I figured out how to download the photos computer from the camera, but then I hit pause. Once they're on the computer, I haven't figured out how to put the folders where they went. Once they're on the computer, I'm clicking on folders, trying to find them.
Her question is that she knows how to she got them downloaded onto her computer, but once she gets them there, she doesn't know how to put them in the folders and to find them. What you have to do is that you have to go in, you can create a folder. You can create a folder, and once you take that picture, you can either drag that picture to that folder, or you can do a right click and drop it down and send it to that folder. And that'll be the best way. Most of the time when you download them, if you go, most of the time they will go into what is called photo. When you go, have you ever like looked over your computer and when you pop it up, you will see where it has like photos, documents and stuff like that. Most of the time it will go into your photo. Because most of the time they come in not up under like a document or something like that. It's gonna come in up under what's called. So most of them will go into that.
Once I email this to my computer, it'll be on my email. So now I need to find a way to get it from my email account folders.
Okay. He wants to know, once he emails his pictures to himself, he wants to know how to get it all out of his email and put it to a folder. What you're gonna do is you're gonna save it. And once you save it, then all you have to do is create that folder and then take and either drag it or send it to your folder.
This sounds so easy. Thank you.
Hello, St. Louis. St. Louis, this is Deborah from Jefferson City. And let's take some questions from the other satellite locations at this time, starting with the St. Louis, the Sikeston or the Carruthersville areas.
Okay.
Carruthersville, do you have any questions for St. Louis? I think the question was, how do you do a slideshow? Now, you know, we could go all day with this. We really could.
That was St. Louis. So I was telling her, I just suggested to her to wait to see what Carruthersville had.
Okay.
I think that's a good question, and really, we can have somebody at your local office do a demonstration, and if you want to do a picture slideshow, usually in Windows, it's got a built-in way to do that. It's fairly simple, but it'd be easier for somebody to show you locally.
Jefferson City, do you have any questions for Ms. Chanel Connor?
A comment?
A comment?
A class would be so welcome on the use of the technology that we have and the materials that we receive. That would be great.
I think we could get, I kind of want to call it like a computer club, where we would meet on a regular basis, and I've been thinking about doing that. You know, of course, I have to get approval and all that, but I think we could start something like that. Maybe meet like once a month.
So there's a possibility.
You can bring your laptops, bring your phones, and we can really do it.
So there's a possibility of us establishing a computer club, but of course, as Andrew indicated, we will of course have to get approval on that. Mr. Flowers.
I tried all the steps that she said about putting the pictures into my computer, and I was able to view the pictures, but I didn't know how to download them, so something I did was wrong. But I'll go back and use her directions and try it again. But I recognized all the things she said, but I didn't do them in the proper order, I guess. So I wasn't successful yesterday, so I'll try again.
Was that off a camera or a phone?
Off the camera.
Okay. A lot of cameras just have the little card.
Yeah, I did that and put it in the computer. Yeah.
Okay.
I was able to view the pictures, but I wasn't able to download it to the computer.
Okay. Copy them, like select them all, and then just drag and drop them onto your pictures folder. If you have a laptop, or if you just will bring a laptop.
We need a class, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's move on to Kansas City. Kansas City, do you have any questions?
I did all that yesterday.
Kansas City, are you there? They disconnected. So at this time, how about Carruthersville?
No question, thank you.
Thank you, Carruthersville. Sykeston. Okay, since we're losing the satellite locations, we have one more question or comment.
I tried downloading the manual yesterday, and today I get all kind of advertisements for security things, and I called one mistakenly, and they want to charge me $199 for a year, and $99 for 7 days or something like this. How can I get out of that? Because I started it and I need to make sure that they don't charge me. I didn't give them my credit card number, but they did ask for it.
Ms. Chanel or St. Louis, did you all get Mr. Flowers' question?
I can answer that.
Good.
I'll repeat the question. So I think if I understood the question correctly, if you saw a pop-up on your computer screen and it said you had malware or a virus or multiple viruses, that's actually malware doing that. So your computer is infected when you see that. Never, ever, ever respond to those things. You need to get some antivirus software and clean it. Microsoft, you have Windows?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Microsoft has a free program called Microsoft Security Essentials that if you don't already have it, you need to install that, and you need to update it and run it and do a complete scan. And anything that it finds, it should automatically quarantine. If it doesn't, you want to make sure you make sure it does quarantine everything that it finds and remove those items from your computer.
Microsoft what?
Security
Security.
Essentials. If you Google search that, it'll pop up and download it, install it, run it. Sometimes the viruses can be a little tricky. They will actually block access to the antivirus software. So you won't even be able to get to the web page to download it. In that case, you need to get more help. So if you have a friend or a family member who knows how to do those kind of things, have them come over or take your laptop to them.
So what's your phone number?
My lovely son.
And that's another thing that we can cover if we get a class started. We can definitely go over
Your
those
friend,
kind
my
of
lovely son, could do that if he could ever get over to my house.
Yeah.
He could do it. I have a desktop and a laptop.
Mhm.
When one acts up, I use the other one until I can get that one looked at.
That's fine, but always keep your antivirus software updated, and it should automatically update, and let it run its scan. I think their default is like scan once a week or something.
But somewhere down the line, I don't know what I did, but I cannot get Internet Explorer.
I never use Internet Explorer unless I have
My
to.
son likes it.
It's scary.
Mom,
I recommend,
open
I actually recommend that you use either Google Chrome, which
That's
I
what
really
I use.
prefer and like, or Firefox. Those are both good browsers. I haven't used Internet Explorer
For years.
for like 10 years.
You need, sometimes you need to know what to get rid of, like I think I have everything, and I don't know how to use any of it, so I'm waiting for your club. I'll hold.
Okay. We have a sign-in sheet out front. If you want me to contact you, just put your email address on there. And if it's okay with everybody, I'll just send out an email as soon as we can get something going. And
Would you repeat Google Explorer and what else did you say?
Google Chrome. Chrome is the browser that I use. Google Chrome.
Google Chrome.
Yeah. So if you go to Google and just type in the word Chrome in hit search, you'll be able to download it. It's free.
And Internet Explorer, you don't reckon yet?
I don't use it.
That's the old one.
No, it's probably fine. Like it's been through a lot of updates. You know, there's been a lot of new versions, but I just stopped using it because it was always problematic. It's probably it's okay if that's all you have. You can still use it. Just make sure it's updated. And same thing with your Windows updates. Always do those. So I think we're about out of time for today, but sign-up sheets are out front. And I'll hand it back over to Debbie.
Thank you.
Let's give a big round of applause for the St. Louis office and Chanel Connors, Ms. Marla Moore Collins, Mr. Lance Weaver. Thank you guys very much. And Andrew as well.
Thank you, Andrew.
Well, at this time, we're going to come to a closing. If you have any questions, hold on to your questions, as always, and we'll try to get those answered for you. But before I officially dismiss everyone, what I need to do is just give you briefly an announcement for tomorrow. Basically, our presenter for tomorrow will be Dr. Thomas Cooper. He's a medical doctor, retired from Fulton, Missouri. And he will be talking in regards to making choices for a healthier future. And that, of course, is tomorrow here from 10 to 11 or so. And hope to see you all again. So let's go around the stage and say goodbye to our friends and colleagues, starting with Kansas City. Did they reconnect?
No.
All right, let's move on to Carruthersville. Bye, Carruthersville. Saxton. Let's move on up to St. Louis. Goodbye, St. Louis. Thank you all again very much. All righty. And of course, goodbye to Jefferson City.
Bye.
I hope you all had a good time today. Even though it was delayed, it's still, you are walking away with the wealth of some information that is continuous. So thank you for attending, and this concludes our session for today.
Thank you.